Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Katie and I'm in a new place. So today I thought I would do my May wrap-up / June TBR. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get started. Alright, so the first book that I read this month was actually a graphic novel, and it was Game of Thrones, the graphic novel volume 1, and I didn't bring it with me, but I have shown images of that graphic novel in one of my book hauls, so if you guys want to see what it looks like, definitely check that out. I'll leave a link right above here, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought that this was a great adaptation. I thought it was beautifully drawn, and there are some really good things about this. So it follows the book definitely, and I would definitely recommend it if you watch the show but you haven't read the book, because the graphic novel follows the book more closely. Obviously there's still some stuff that's left out, but it follows the book more closely than the show does. And if you want a little more detail but you don't want to commit into reading A Song of Ice and Fire, I would definitely recommend it. The art was beautiful, the adaptation was beautiful, the writing was great. Definitely recommend. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Goodreads. So the next book that I read, and I actually listened to this book, was Veronica Mars, number 1, The $1,000 Tan Line by Rob Thomas. First novel in the Veronica Mars series. And if you guys don't know, Veronica Mars was originally a television show, and it actually got canceled after 3 seasons, but it was so good. It's about Veronica Mars she's in high school and her dad is a PI, and it's very noir and mystery and wittiness, and I love it so much, and I would definitely recommend it. You should watch the show. And then they actually did a Kickstarter campaign for a movie. That's how engrossed the fans are of this show. So they did the movie, and then there are 2 novels. Novels take place after the movie, so it's really interesting. I love that it's like TV and movie and books. Like that really intrigues me. Definitely watch the show before you pick up these books, and watch the movie too. You don't really want to go into this without knowing the characters and without knowing what's going on in the world. So good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I cannot wait to pick up the second one. The next book that I picked up in May was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, and this is about a boy and a girl, Violet and Finch, and they meet on top of the bell tower because they're both contemplating suicide. I thought it was very well written. Suicide is a very touchy subject in young adult literature, so I think she did a really good job. I would definitely recommend it to fans of John Green as well as Gail Forman, because it's a book that has some humor but definitely touches on those deeper themes. And I gave this, I think, like a 4.3 out of 5 on Goodreads, so I really enjoyed it. The next book I picked up was actually a children's book, because I went through a little bit of a reading slump at the beginning of this month. Picked up The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin, and again, in the book talk with my other George R.R. Martin book that I read this month, I showed you some of the great illustrations that are in this book. It's actually a children's book, and I don't know if I mentioned that maybe like 4 or 5 times. But I really enjoyed this. It's set in the same world as A Song of Ice and Fire, but it takes place during one of the long winters. I believe long time before the events of what's currently going on in Westeros right now, and it's about the ice dragon, which everyone thinks is a mythical creature, but this girl who was born during the coldest part of the coldest winter, she feels connected to it, and it's very good. Don't think you would have to read the rest of A Song of Ice and Fire for you to enjoy this children's novel, or this children's book. I personally think that it is an excellent standalone children's book if you want to read it to kids, but it's also a great companion to the Song of Ice and Fire series for adults, and it had me theorizing like crazy, so yeah. I gave this a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. The next book I picked up was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. This is a book about Greg, who he doesn't feel like he has a lot of friends, but he thinks that that's the way to make it through high school, is just to have a lot of acquaintances and not really make any friends. And his mom sort of makes him hang out with this girl who in his class who's diagnosed with leukemia. It was really funny and I really enjoyed the writing style. It was very interesting. It was cool because sometimes it would switch writing formats and Greg actually talks to you as a reader, so that was really interesting. I really liked the aspect of that, and I believe I gave this like a 4.5 out of 5 on Goodreads. I really liked it. It was really funny. And the last book that I read this month, I actually read pretty much in one sitting, and it was during the 14-hour drive down to Nashville from my home in New York. My dad and I switched driving, and when I wasn't driving I was usually reading, and I actually have it with me for that reason, the only one I do, and that is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and that is the first novel in the Lux series. You can see there, this is the second one that I haven't started yet, and this is the first one. The Obsidian is about a girl. She's a book blogger and she moves in her senior year to West Virginia, and she lives next door to aliens, and there's all this kind of crazy stuff that goes on, and there's really hot sexual tension in this, and I really did enjoy this. It was not the best writing, but it was funny and sexy and addicting. There was just something very addicting about this, and I believe I gave this like a 4.0 out of 5 on Goodreads. So those are all the books that I read in the month of May, and it was maybe 0 of what I posted for my moving TBR, so you know, that's whatever. It's whatever. I don't care. Apparently I'm not that good at TBRs, but I'm gonna show you my TBR for the month of June. Now, June is a very crazy month for me at work. I'm going to be traveling to all these different state parks, doing programming, stuff like that, so I don't think I'm going to have a lot of time for leisure reading, and for that reason, I'm only going to put 3 books on my TBR. I'd be really happy if I finish all of these books because one of them is actually very big. Here's my June TBR. So the first book that I want to finish in June, and I've actually already started, but I'm only like 50 pages in, and that is Spiritbound by Rochelle Mead. This is the 5th book in the Vampire Academy series. Now, I read the first 4 books last fall, and I flew through them real fast, and I stopped at Spiritbound, just couldn't really pick it up. These books are very dramatic, so I think after 4 I needed a little bit of a breather, but I think I'm ready. I brought this one and the Last Sacrifice, which is the last one, down with me in hopes of finishing it this summer, and I'm really excited. The next book I have on my list I actually just took out from the library, so I have to finish it. It is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. But this I've just heard so much about. I've never actually read any of her books, but this just seems so whimsical and very cool, so I think I definitely want to. I saw this on the shelves and I snatched it up, and I want to finish this in the month. And the last book I have on my June TBR is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is an adult fantasy book, and I'm real excited to get started with this really soon. I need some adultness, adult fantasy in my life right now, and this is gonna be it, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you later with another video. Bye!